The final provisions of the much-discussed Credit Card Act of 2009 has gone into effect, but what does it mean for you? Will it really make your financial life better or just give you more tricks to watch out for? Here with 5 action steps to take is Manisha Thakor, personal finance expert and co-author of Get Financially Naked. Hello, Manisha. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Meg. Great to be back.
So with these changes in effect now, let's talk about some action steps we need to take. And first off, you say, simply open your mail. And I will admit to being guilty as charged here. And I tend to ignore some of my mail from credit card companies. But you really can't do that anymore, right?
No, and especially those of us that have been used to having a no annual fee credit card. If we open up those envelopes, a sharp surprise may be inside because credit card companies aren't able to make money as easily as they had in the past through willy-nilly interest rate hikes. Instead, a lot of them are changing no-fee cards to annual fee cards. So read it. If you have to take out a reading glass because it's in that 6-point font, do it. But check and see if there's an annual fee waiting for you.
Okay, and are we going to see any changes on credit card statements that might be helpful for cardholders?
Actually, we will, and the one that I am the most excited about is that statements will now show you, if you make just the minimum monthly payment, how long it's going to take you to actually pay that debt off. And the reason I am so excited about this is all too many people didn't understand that mathematically making the minimum monthly payment essentially doubled the price of anything they charged on those credit cards if they had a mid-teens interest rate.
Okay, and Manisha, you also suggest cardholders to consider a balance transfer. And I think the key word there is consider, because I know you're not always a fan of that, right?
Exactly, Meg. I rarely tell people, this is almost like me going out and saying, spend money and don't look at the price tag. It's very rare for me to say this, but here's my logic. Balance transfer fees have nowhere to go but up because, once again, credit card companies need new sources of revenues. Gone are the days of 1% to 3% charges on balance transfers. We're going to look at that and think about blue eyeshadow and bell bottoms. I think we're going to see 5% and above. So if you have to, and I hope you don't, because I'd rather you deal with your root problem and pay the debt down, but if you need to do a balance transfer, now's the time to do it.
Okay, maybe just a one-time thing. All right, another action step you mentioned is to check for dormancy fees, and we're talking inactivity here. Explain this.
Yeah, so again, credit card companies are looking all through their portfolio and trying to find ways, because they're businesses at the end of the day. They're providing us, the customer, a service, and they need to make a profit off of that. And so if we have a card and they're having to keep records on us, but we're not using the card, they're not making any money. So for cards that are lying dormant, many card companies are going to start to charge dormancy fees. You can call yours up and find out. Now, my suggested action step is a little controversial. If your card company is going to charge you a dormancy fee and it is not one of your oldest credit cards, I actually think you should close the card down, even though that might temporarily hurt your credit score.
And how much do you think it could make a dent in your credit score?
So that's the big question, Meg. It's like a sausage factory trying to understand how credit scores are actually made. We do know that 45% of your credit score is derived from what's called your debt utilization ratio and the length of your credit history. So somewhere in that 45% slice, there could be a negative impact. My point is, this is a great time to clear out the clutter. Most of us have way too many plastic cards to begin with. If you're not about to buy a house in the next 6 months, you can take a tiny temporary ding to your credit score.
Okay, now you also say understand what it means to opt out. And what exactly does this mean?
So I was really confused when I first heard about this when the legislation started being discussed back in May of 2009. Basically, the way it works is this. When credit card companies change your terms, they have to give you the option to opt out. What that means is you can reject those terms, but it does not mean that you can keep spending under the old, more favorable terms. What it means is you can now say, that's it, I'm going to pay off any existing balance under the old terms, and then my card will be closed down.
Okay, let's talk about college kids, and how are these new rules going to affect them? Will it make it harder or easier for them to get cards?
Meg, this is one of the other things I'm super excited about. It's going to make it much harder for kids in college to get a hold of plastic, and I think that is a blessing. It breaks my heart to see how many students are coming out of school with the double whammy of student loan debt and $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 of credit card debt. Not at all uncommon.
So what is it that's making it harder for them?
So credit card companies are no longer, thanks for asking that, they're no longer going to be able to solicit and do a lot of the freebies that got students attracted to begin with. So no more free t-shirts in exchange for opening up a card, no more free wiffle balls or pizzas for opening up a card. They're going to be very strict rules. And if you're under 18 and you want to get a credit card, under 21, you're going to have have a cosigner, a parent, someone else. So lots of regulations going into effect there.
Stricter policies there. Okay, and the last action step, if you've been naughty, start playing nice. Now explain this one for us.
Sure. So we're all human. Every once in a while you end up paying a bill late. That typically triggers what formerly was called the universal default clause and caused your interest rate to go up. Now, under the new legislation, if you've got 6 months of on-time payments, you qualify to go back to your original interest rate. So play nice, pay those bills on time for 6 months, and then call your credit card company, check that statement, make sure you're getting your rightfully lowered interest rate back.
Okay, and if you're super sweet, could you call after 3 months, or do you really have to wait the 6 months?
Well, you can try. And my feeling is credit card companies are going to want to show that they're trying to play nice, too.
All right, Manisha, thank you so much.